wrestling fans, and welcome to this edition of Tag Team. I'm your host, Cesar Scorpio, alongside the invisible E. Vincent.
Hey.
This week's TNA Impact Wrestling Review kicks off with a bang, starting off with what looked like deja vu. Looks like RVD and Mr. Anderson, but no, it's ODB and Velvet Sky. Woo, but the way she was handling Velvet Sky was crazy.
Yep.
Back, forth, boom, bomb, straight.
Directly from the get-go, right out of the gate, ODB and Velvet Sky fought their way from the backstage area up to the front stage area, and from there up into the ring. ODB's going off about how Velvet Sky is a skinny whore for no particular reason. Apparently, she's still upset that she believes Velvet Sky got her fired. Just choked her out with her own shirt. Eventually got pulled away by the referees. But Miss Tessmacher had to run in. It sort of render aid after that. But yeah, ODB, the one-woman wrecking machine.
ODB going to town on my girl Velvet Sky. I am jealous of you, ODB. Man, you see how she was throwing it around like that? Man. Whew. Anyway, I don't see how this is going to happen in the pay-per-view here, Slammiversary. I don't see how Velvet Sky has a shot.
I don't know. ODB is pretty hard to reckon with, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, she might have to call in some help or something. So we'll see where we go.
Velvet Sky, don't even show up, please. I don't want you to get messed up. Going further here, we had RetroSting talking to Mr. Eric Young about, hey, possibly, joining me and bringing back WCW back in 1989. Let's do it, yeah. Poor guy here, Mr. Eric Young, agrees to terms for later on in the show, which we'll touch a base on. Later, Crimson comes in, wins, yawn. Let's move on. Angelina Love finally speaks.
Finally, after, 6-7 weeks, Angelina Love finally actually says some words. Talks to Winter and tells her that, she's starting to remember what they went through in the past, in past lives or something. Apparently the drugs are kicking in. She turns around and goes out to the ring, goes against Mrs. Tessmacher, throws her around, pretty much like a rag doll. And she goes into Terminator mode. These days, Angelina Love is pretty unstoppable. So
that being said, does Mickie James have a chance in this championship match?
That's hard to see because, again, Angelina Love is hard to stop, and if Mickie James winds up getting outside the ring, she has to deal with Winter at that point. So it's real hard to see. We could see a change in hands of the knockouts. It's
hard to picture her losing the belt as fast when she just earned it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But if anyone's going to take it away, it's going to be her. Again, there's two knockouts right now that are considered right now on top of their game, which is Angelina Love and ODB.
Mm-hmm.
So where this takes Mickie James, especially she's got a damaged wing, they probably want to pamper her a little bit. The defender of the championship, they probably don't want to, pamper the champion. They want to make sure the champion can bring it every pay-per-view, every Thursday.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. I wouldn't be surprised if Angelina Love did become the next knockout champion. Next, we had the match, much anticipated, Sting versus the Great Muta for the 1989 Rewind match. Eric Young, man, the guy sold it. I thought I was watching Muta in action.
He played it up. He played it up totally. From the face paint, the green mist at the very end, mystically and whatnot. He just unstoppable, unbeatable, and he wound up winning the match too.
This guy showed the most. I didn't expect what I saw here from Eric Young. This guy's been holding out.
Eric Young has been holding out. I have a few words about that. It's like all this time he was just like the funny, crazy guy. Lo and behold, he's actually got skills. This is, it's a great surprise. I wish I could have seen it before. Glad I've seen it now. It's awesome.
What a performance by EY. EY, keep it up, loving it. We'll touch base on that a little bit later on the show. Next, we had Kazarian versus Brian Kendrickson for the #1 contender match to face Abyss for the Division X Championship at Slammiversary. When is TNA going to realize that ties are no good.
Nobody likes draws. Nobody likes draws. Write it down. Just tape it to your forehead. Nobody likes draws, TNA. Come on. I mean, anytime this happened, and it looked like they were going to try and smooth it out by throwing in 5 more minutes, and then Abyss came out and sort of obliterated that. Nobody, and it just sort of floated away. They didn't even address it. Nobody likes draws. I mean, if Victory Road was no signal of that.
Flashback of Victory Road. Then they spent a whole 2 weeks, 3 weeks trying to make up for that.
Exactly.
The only good thing about this is that it wasn't in a pay-per-view. The only thing that I see that they're trying to do is probably build a little bit more for Slammiversary.
Yeah.
There's 1 week left before the actual show, so
exactly.
they're trying to make up for it, maybe build something up there.
We'll see.
It's possible. I mean, if they're going to do a tie, it might as well be on Impact, because if it's on another pay-per-view, I'm going to boycott TNA.
Yeah.
Just remember that. All right.
You won't be the only one.
All right. Next, and the main event for this week's Impact Wrestling was Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner, Kurt Angle, and Matt Morgan on a tag team match. Of course, Karen showed up. She actually made an appearance here. We'll talk about it after a little bit later. But this match was a little lackluster, a little boring, a little dull. I mean, I think these guys their head was more in AAA than it was in TNA.
Yeah, because they got to go down there on the 19th?
Yeah, so it looked like they were, thinking ahead. It didn't look very entertaining. The only thing that's really entertaining about it was when Karen comes out, tries to do something here to Kurt Angle, ends up going to the back, and then the spill.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett pushed Kurt Angle, who apparently, because this was behind the barriers, apparently Kurt Angle bumped into Karen and she took a tumble down the stairs. They showed the ambulance coming up, the EMTs, dealing with her. And
it's your fault. You made me do it.
Exactly. Angle
you should have never had her over here. That's the mother of my kids.
Going back and forth about whose fault it was. Meanwhile, Jeff Jarrett's in the way of the EMT.
It was her fault. That should get Karen. Hopefully we don't see Karen for a little while. It was getting kind of old. Last here we had on Impact was Eric Bischoff coming out with Hulk Hogan all depressed because he got a letter. He got served by the network.
He got served by the network.
And he didn't even open it to read it.
Never actually bothered to read what it said.
Just gives it to Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, it's been nice knowing you. We're done. He's giving his apologies to everybody inside Impact Wrestling Zone, and finally he reads it off. Lo and behold, it's Mick Foley who's been fired from the network.
Exactly.
And now this changes everything, because after that there was only like 5 seconds to actually realize what had just happened.
Exactly.
So what does this do for the X Division?
The X Division is dead. I mean, unless something huge happens at Slammiversary, the X Division is dead. Which, I mean, again, what we were talking about before, it might be building up to what's going to happen next week and going into Slammiversary. Hopefully Slammiversary turns out to be the resurrection of the X Division. This is a total build up for it, but we'll see what happens.
Let's hope it's not. The X Division, TNA needs the X Division.
Yeah, they really do.
And I don't think that this is going to be the end of the X Division. I think, again, they got another week to make up for it, and then a big splash here on Slammiversary 9. So I think it's still going to save up, but again, they got to build it. They got to build it, and we'll see how they dump it at Slammiversary. I expect the X Division, maybe the championship to even change. By who? Who knows?
It has to be. Otherwise, all you got is the young guys that they're not using right, and then the old guys.
Yeah,
fix it.
Not working. They got a couple of weeks to fix it. I think they will.
They will.
They will.
Sure.
We'll look forward here to next week's Impact. That's all the information we have here for Impact Wrestling. But let's move forward here to the Invincible Evinson's 3 the Hard Way for this week. What you got for us, E?
Okay. First off, Karma. She came out and made her announcement that she was going to be stepping away from wrestling because she's pregnant earlier this week. During that announcement, she made some statements about how Jim Ross had told her that she was too fat to be a diva. And she later went on to speak about how that was, she used that as inspiration to go ahead and go through the steps that she needed to do to ultimately wind up in the WWE. What happened after that, several people started sending messages to Jim Ross, sort of mean messages, via Twitter and other ways, saying that, he was a jerk and he's fat and all this. And
who are you to say she's fat? Look at you.
Things of this nature. So Karma swung back around earlier this week to sort of straighten out, what everybody was thinking. She pointed out that Jim Ross was actually instrumental in her getting into the WWE and in helping her get her start in the first place, and that there was no good reason for anybody to be showing any animosity towards him, because she was cool with him. If it hadn't been for him and the Stone Cold, that she might not be in the WWE at all. So that was cool, and in my opinion, it was cool of her on her part to sort of straighten it out, just so everybody understood and clarified, so that everybody can get off Jim Ross's back.
I think she needed to. I mean, Jim Ross was kind of blindsided by the whole remark here when she said that on Raw. I don't think she meant for it to come out that way, but it did. Yeah. And Jim Ross was like, what? Where'd this come from? I mean, he didn't find out. I don't think he was watching, that you mentioned here.
Yeah, he was watching Oklahoma.
Yeah, of course, Oklahoma. Man, get over it, Ross. But anyway, he found out on Twitter, what are you doing? Why are you so mean? Whatever they were saying there. And that's how he found out. So I think she owed it to him, especially since, again, he was a vital part in getting her into the WWE, into wrestling in general. So it was good to see her do it.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
Number 2, Eric Young. Best kept secret of TNA. I mean, this guy shows up. We already knew he could do the funny comedy stuff. We already knew he had some wrestling skills, but the way he played up the Great Muta this week, what he did last week, he's rapidly becoming one of my favorite people on TNA. It's TNA Impact Wrestling. It was refreshing actually to see this guy come out, break away, and show this additional dimension of skills that he's been showing over the last couple of weeks. So my hat's off to him. I'm just enjoying the heck out of what Eric Young's doing right now. Hopefully it continues. EY's
been holding out. This guy, I mean, is this anything this guy can't do? The guy brings the jokes. The guy brings the technical skills. The guy brings the mic skills. The guy brings everything. If this business is about entertainment, this guy is the best in the business. Just saying.
Yeah.
Saying.
Think of somebody else who's as multidimensional.
EY, you're the man. Keep it up. Love you. What we got?
All right. And number 3, the situation with Brian Kendrick and Kazarian. Again, maybe it's building up to something. Maybe it's not. I'm suspecting, obviously, going towards Slammiversary, it probably is. Nobody likes to see a draw. Whatever they're building up to, they could have just as easily had one of these guys lose, come back next week, and have a rematch for the contender spot, and still come back with the same result going into Slammiversary. So, Nichols worth of free advice.
I don't think he likes draws.
Nobody likes draws. Nobody likes a tie.
You watch hockey?
Nobody likes a draw in hockey.
Oh man!
Seriously, I don't care if it ends 0-0. Keep going. Somebody take a puck in the face. This game needs somebody. If it's 0-1, I'm cool. Okay, it's fine. Nobody likes a draw.
Good defense. Good defense. Wow, we're straying from the subject here. This is a wrestling show.
You brought up hockey. It's your fault.
Anyway, that's all the information we have with this week's edition of TNA Impact Wrestling Review. Say that 3 times fast. For myself, Cesar Scorpio, the Invincible E. Vincent, thank you very much for watching. See you guys on Monday with the WWE review and the Lucha Minute. Till then, see you guys later.